Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm doing another book review, following along a bit of a trend I've had of doing book reviews about productivity or self-help, those kinds of things, organization, all of that. Today we are looking at this. This is Feel Good Productivity by Ali Abdaal. Now, Ali was a medical doctor and sort of transitioned out of that into becoming a productivity expert, shall we say. He's got a hugely successful YouTube channel, as well as like a whole mini empire based around productivity. And this book is kind of like the most recent sort of zenith of that for him. So this was published in 2023 by Penguin Books through one of their little like subsidiary brands, Cornerstone Press. At least here in Australia. It's a really interesting book that can kind of be summarized in a couple of simple things. Firstly, on the back of the book here, it reads, "The secret to productivity isn't discipline, it's joy." Now, this book has received a lot of really great press. It's been, the taglines and things on the back sort of show it off well. It's been well received. It's written by someone who is well respected within the community. And so I think it's an interesting book, and it's a really great read if you are finding yourself struggling and don't know where to start. In saying that, I'm going to read a quote. This is from towards the end of the book. And this is a very easy read. It's a book that doesn't take a whole lot to process. You're not sort of bombarded with jargon and all of that kind of stuff. But this quote is, "Remember, this book isn't a to-do list. It's a philosophy, a way of creating your own personalized productivity toolkit. One that allows you to reap all the amazing rewards of feeling good every day and in the long term. And one that involves approaching your daily projects and tasks in the spirit of experimentation. So, I urge you, try as much as you can, figure out what works and discard the rest." Now, that is a great philosophy in life in general. I had singing teachers telling me as a kid, whenever you're working with other teachers, listen to what they say, work out what works for you, and then discard the rest. And the same can be said for methods like this and many others, not just in the productivity world. There are a few basic sort of concepts I want to discuss that are sort of strong threads through the entire book. The first is the incorporating of the 3 Ps. So play, power, and people. And using those things to really sort of inform and instruct how you go about your productivity. And those 3 Ps are what Ali refers to as 3 energizers, and energizers are important. They are what give you the impetus to keep going when things sort of get hard. Sometimes things don't get hard, sometimes things start hard. And one of the theories or the little experiments I really enjoyed in this book was the 5-minute rule. If you've got a task that you know is daunting, that is going to be awful, give it 5 minutes, start it. Set a timer. If you need to, if you're writing a book and you need to, get this next chapter done, set a timer for 5 minutes and start. At the end of that 5 minutes, you've got the choice whether you keep going or whether that's where you stop for the moment. Most of the time when you do this, and I found this in my own work, most of the time when you get to the end of that 5 minutes, you are engaged in the process, you are energized by it, and you tend to find yourself keeping on going. Another thing I really liked in this book was the discussion of burnout. In fact, Ali talks about a conversation he had with his mum about burnout. His mum is, a trained psychologist, all that kind of stuff. So, it does work out well. But he talks about this conversation he had about burnout and how burnout isn't just about doing too much, it's about doing too much of the wrong things. If you're doing things that don't energize you, if you're not passionate about them, if you're not interested, if they don't have an effect on you, then the work isn't inspiring you, and it can become very hard to actually keep going. And that is where burnout sort of occurs. The book is filled with great examples and great stories from Ali's own life, as well as the lives of other productivity experts and people in the general community. Ways of finding out how they did things and how they incorporated these ideas into their lives. And that gives us a good background as to how we may be able to incorporate these things into our lives. We can all read this and understand it and enjoy a lot of elements of it. It is relatively well written in a very personal style, but I think this book is going to be really great for those people who are new to the productivity world and perhaps who are struggling. A lot of people find Ali through his YouTube channel when they need help, when they just can't work out how to make their life work. So they can have a look at this book and work out why they're procrastinating, why they feel the way they do, and maybe some things they can do to turn that around. I really enjoyed how this book is sort of organized. Each chapter has a really solid summary, and once again, as I've said in other book reviews, you can't just read the summary. You kind of need to read the entire chapter, and that summary does sort of just instill or replant the ideas in sort of clean, clear, concise ways. But the general structure of the book is great. So each chapter has a main idea, and then it's broken down from that into rules, and beyond that into experiments. And the experiments are things that you can do in everyday life to incorporate those ideas. An example of how that structure works is in a chapter, say, about conserve. And then the rule is to break more. And then the experiment is to schedule your breaks. So in that instance, if you need to re-energize, you need to spend more time not doing the things that stress you out. It doesn't have to be a huge amount of time, but you just need to make sure you have that time. And so a way of doing that is in your calendar, you say from 11 to 11:30, I'm doing something else. I'm doing one of there are many things that Ali suggests. He talks about mindful and mindless time off. You might be learning to play guitar in the breaks between doing your work or whatever. Those kinds of things are really, really important. The analysis he goes into is quite simple, and the reasoning is clear and concise. I really appreciate Ali's positivity and the insights into his own life, and of course his dedication to this very simple concept of feel-good productivity, how to do more of what matters to you. So I hope you found this book review to be interesting and useful. Please like and subscribe, hit the notifications button, all that kind of stuff. If you've got books you think I should be looking at for these, I'd love to hear from you. And in the meantime, enjoy reading, enjoy finding your ways of being productive, and I'll talk to you soon.